Hello, I'm Avi. Welcome to Horizon Zero Dawn. Now, the end is nigh. We're here to do the Looming Shadow, which is all about preparation for the grand finish. And, maybe we can even find our way. I think we have to talk to Avad. But all that has happened. Fairly sure we haven't done that yet.
There wouldn't be anything left of him for the
Yeah.
to take.
Good grief. And there's the palace.
That's what I say.
Oh, he is still blissfully unawares.
I'm a guard, not the town.
What?
Aloy, what brings you to Meridian?
A threat. The Eclipse will attack soon, from the west, with an army of ancient war machines. But that's not the worst of it. They'll bring a mind with them, god, demon, machine, whatever you want to call it. It's called Hades. And it doesn't want Meridian at all. It wants the Spire. And if it gets there, it will send out a call, waking more ancient machines, more than we could ever defeat. All will be lost. We can't let that happen.
I'm trying to understand, but my responsibility lies with Meridian.
Meridian isn't the target, Avad. You have to defend the Spire.
Perhaps the Vanguard, Your Radiance.
Yes, send them to the Spire. Aaron knows Aloy. He won't question it.
And have the city guard fortify the western ridge. There they can be seen to protect Meridian and the Elite, where the Spire rests.
Aloy, allow me to apologize for my behavior before. After everything that happened with Ursa, I was confused. If we're to fight together on the brink of life and death, I'd prefer to do so with your forgiveness.
Then you have it. As long as you don't confuse me with her again.
Even a king can learn his lesson. Good then. I'm glad that's behind us. Now, it will take time to prepare our defenses. Please, tell me what you know of our enemies. Everything.
I don't know about everything, but I'll tell you what I can.
So, we have put him in the picture, and now you.
Quietly does it. Panic in the city will only create another enemy. And do keep me appraised of each new arrival.
Right. Preparations.
Ah, Aloy. Preparations are underway on the ridge of defenses and at the Spire. Word was sent to every corner of the Sundom. Our allies offered their steel. Some came for Meridian, others for shards. But many came for you, by name.
For me.
Don't be so humble.
The ridge will be the front line. That's where the city guard are holding?
Yes, bolstered by some of the irregulars I spoke of before. The Oseram cannons that thundered Meridian's walls in the Liberation will now defend us. You're welcome to tour the defenses.
Sure, I will.
And the Spire. Erend and the Vanguard are there?
Indeed. Clashing breastplates together and testing out their battle cries, I suppose. A number of the Nora have also arrived at the Spire. They have resisted the offer of a royal audience. Perhaps you could parley with them.
I will.
So, what now?
I suppose all we can do is wait for the attack.
Exactly. It's not a feeling I cherish, but our spotters at Evening Sign report there's still no movement in the west. So, if there's more you need to do elsewhere, seize this time to do it. Otherwise, I've made the apartment of Olin Delverson available to you. You can sleep there, if sleep comes.
I'll sleep like a baby, I'm quite sure. Aloy might not. So it's optional whether you tour the defenses and talk to everyone, but obviously we have to do this. Ooh. We have Jonah, oh my god. Yeah, there are a lot of them. And they are fairly long. Good heavens. Last time I visited Prime was November of last year. Months since have been a blur. Flew out last night to oversee installation of the central armature and the master override. You're welcome, Ted. Which was completed by 04:30. So I decided to grab a few hours of sleep here before heading back to ZD. Called Gaia before I bedded down, ostensibly to update her on the site plan. But the truth is, I missed her. I've developed a habit of speaking to her before I sleep. Seems to be the only thing that calms me these days. Woke to a message from Oswald. The Odyssey launched yesterday, so Terrestrials' lives' chance of survival has doubled. Why, then, do I feel so uneasy? I just keep wondering what kind of world Far Zenith will create if the ship reaches its destination so many decades from now. And I worry about the alpha build of Apollo. So much knowledge, so few restraints, and no failsafes. How will they avoid repeating our mistakes? What's to stop them from playing God? Well, Ted Farrow already played God. Forwarded the Odyssey message to the Alphas. Naoto replied in less than a minute with a poem, of course. The Building of the Ship by Longfellow. And it's long, alright. I didn't read all of it, but it seems to be about launching a ship rather than building one. The stanza, or couplet, or whatever, leapt out at me. Humanity, with all its fears, with all its hopes of future years, is hanging breathless on thy fate. Yeah, Odyssey and Zero Dawn both. Speaking of which, I should get back to Zero Dawn. Guess I should stop by Naoto's lab and check on Demeter's progress too. If I can get out of there without the volume of Tennyson pressed into my hands, I'll count myself lucky. Till next time. So, Naoto is the one who is responsible for all the poems in the flowers, because Demeter created the flowers. And he put all the Demeter's love for poems into it. Or his love he put into Demeter. Well, yeah, you know what I mean. So, let's review the defenses. So, we're close to our first inspection point.
Have you just polished that armor, was it?
Of course. Couldn't imagine
Isn't
living
that a
anywhere
little...
else. What?
In a minute.
Out with it, woman.
Forget I said
Something of odd
anything. You
spies
look
saved
very
Prince Itaman from the Shadow
dignified.
Karja. Now they
Don't you?
have no claim on
And
the
shiny.
throne.
Very shiny.
Everybody's talking. You.
Aloy. I told you I'd be here.
You did, Teb. But have your wounds even had time to heal?
Honestly, if I fought, I'd probably come undone. But don't worry. I'll leave that to the other Nora at the Spire. I brought supplies instead. These Karja have made me an honorary quartermaster, whatever that means.
It sounds impressive.
I could get used to it. We'll be setting up caches of arms and medicine under these banners. Look for them when the fighting starts. Aloy, when you went into the mountain, did the goddess tell you our chances?
She didn't need to. I know we can do this, Teb.
Maybe we can.
Right. You two. Hi there.
Some Oseram girl applied to the city guard.
Okay. Got one. Halloween. Travis came by trick-or-treating dressed up like me. You've seen that coming. I gave him a half-eaten packet of dandy wafers as a treat and kicked him out, but not before he invited me to some kind of Italian horror extravaganza he organized for Zero Dawn staff. Seriously. As though there isn't enough horror in the world already. Anyway, I was already scheduled to fly out here to G Prime for final inspections with Harris and the President's delegation. Ted was here too, and he was not looking good. Kept fidgeting and couldn't seem to look me in the face without blinking. I was relieved when he boarded his vert and flew back to Thebes. Gag. Now I guess I shouldn't complain. If he wants to build himself a deluxe shelter to ride out the apocalypse, let him. Keeps him out of Elysium and away from me. Harris stuck around long enough to give me a detailed briefing on the strategic situation. Basically, we've entered the terminal phase, as though the color of the sky when I was flying over here wasn't clue enough. Another 2 or 3 weeks and the atmosphere won't be breathable. The last vestiges of European and West African civilian brigades are trapped with their backs against the Atlantic. The swarm has scuttled across Antarctica, is crossing the Straits of Magellan, about to start its death crawl up South America towards the Amazon. All the work we did to reconstitute the rainforest, and it comes to this. And advanced elements of the Pacific swarms are already skirmishing with units on the Kalmar seawall. The news is tightening. Projections show we can still finish in time, but the margin of errors is plus/minus 10 days. Not a good spread. If the plague breaks through ahead of schedule, well, I just can't. I will not let that happen. Enough writing, I need to get back to Zero Dawn. Right.
The other day.
You too.
Little Huntress, you called, so here I am.
Ready to fight?
Fight? I thought you just wanted tea and conversation. Is there a battle coming? I wasn't informed.
Well, that can't be true. You're always informed.
Ah, so I am. We've only met a few times, and yet you know me so well.
I don't think I know you at all. But I'd like to.
When I hear that line, it usually means something else. Can I tell you a secret?
Of course.
I've been waiting for this fight my whole life. The enemy we face today is the same that turned Meridian into a slave pit and Sunfall into a bloodbath. Fanatics who torture and murder mothers, fathers, families, children, and say it's the will of the sun. I hate them, Aloy. I've got the scars of their whips on my back to prove it. And today, we can get rid of them once and for all. I said I came for you, but that was only half the truth. I came for them. This time, they're not getting away.
I'm with you, Vanasha. We'll fight them together.
And I won't forget it, little Huntress. Tomorrow, may the sun rise in a better world.
King Avad sent spies to free Prince Itaman from the clutches of the Shadow Karja.
Let's talk to Uthid, if I can.
Aloy?
At ease, Uthid. Meridian will be glad to have you on its side. And I am too.
The honor is mine. You saved my epitaph from being a fine soldier, but a fool of a man.
I'm hoping you won't need any kind of epitaph just yet.
As the sun wills. When you found me, I was trying to eke out a glorious death. But now, a glorious life seems more preferable. To watch Itaman play in the low gardens again. Still surrounded by a dozen guards, but... what you did, Aloy, it was done well. Although, I can't shake this road, Vanasha. She delights in goading me. Like brazen colors waved before a behemoth.
Do you want me to ask her to stop?
No. I accept it. Well then. Meridian shall stand and Shadow shall fall. I swear it.
Here's to that, Uthid.
Right.
I only fight when I have to. But by the time I have to, I usually want to.
Right, Vanessa. Right. Yeah, I kind of see wedding or hear wedding bells in their future. Huh. They act like a long married couple already. So who's on this side? Hi, Elita. Haven't seen you in a while.
The Oseram guard.
Elita, I'm pleased to see you, but what are you doing here?
I'm helping prepare for the battle. If a Thrall were here, we would have fought together. I know it. So I'm doing everything I can. Digging battlements, collecting herbs. Anything that makes a difference. I can't take his place. Nothing can take his place. But I'm here for him. For both of us.
I understand what it was he saw in you.
He'll always be with me. Sun and Shadow still meet for a moment. Every dawn and dusk. I should give you this. To help in the battle. By the sun, I hope you don't need it.
Thank you, Elita. Be safe.
Yeah, so we got antidote.
Fear what Sunfall may do to retaliate.
Right. Well, if you haven't done the Frozen Wilds, there is somebody else here.
Always the ones you least
But
expect.
she will wait for us at a different spot now that we have done it. Right. Let's talk to these.
How
First.
many men do you think you'll kill in the battle, Lucid?
As many as I have to.
I love it when you say things like that. It's so
What?
cheerful.
Well, she doesn't give up.
Nakoa, you came to fight.
How could I not? During the Red Raids, there was only one Karja Butcher the Nora feared more than Zaid.
Helis.
I would stand against any army he leads, no matter how strong. For the Nora he terrorized, for myself, and for my father.
We'll stop him. You have my word.
Your word means a lot, especially now. Because of you, I hear the sacred land is opened. If we win, I can go home. It'll be good to see Jan again. I'm with you, Aloy. Until the end.
Yeah.
Like you said, we'll stop Helis cold. Together.
Oh, well, we hope so. I hope so. Huh. Geneva.
Geneva, they called you back to duty.
So, you're the one behind all this commotion? Who made Sun King Avad finally show his sword arm from behind those robes?
A king can be fierce and fair, Geneva. He's a good man.
A smart man, too. He had Murad offer all my prisoners a royal pardon if they'd fight for Meridian. The whole motley lot of them agreed. Didn't take much convincing.
With your kind of convincing, I don't doubt it.
Ha! This time I went easy on them. Those who commit the crime of attacking Meridian, they'll see less of my lenient side. May the sun blaze at your back, Aloy.
That's a nice spear. Lucid.
Can't fault my prisoners' discipline.
I like the
all
way
those
you
dawn
grip it.
drills have served them well.
Enough, woman.
Nasha, shut up. Yeah. Good luck to you too, Geneva.
Isn't that him? From the Battle of the Dawn?
Can be. Cinnabar Sands was before that, and there were no survivors.
Well, I don't like to boast.
Well,
Oh, sun, keep the shadow from falling upon me.
yep, there was one survivor. And here he is. So if you opted not to kill him, Nil, of course, can't resist. Nil, long time no see.
Nil?
Aloy. They told me your name. I said hair like a splash of blood, tenacious as a scrapper's jaws. I've thought about what you said. Every time, the wound you gave me caught on my ribs.
But I didn't wound you.
Not by metal. Still, I forgive. A duel is such a fleeting joy. If one of us had ended the other, we'd have missed all this. The weight before blood is shed. Like the scrape of a blade across your teeth.
Nil, you're making it difficult to be glad to see you. But you're needed. The battle will be hard.
Hard? I was assured the odds would be near impossible.
And you signed up anyway?
Impossible odds, fine company, killing without consequence. How could I resist?
Yeah, I'm sure you get your fair share of blood.
Killed anyone lately you'd like to talk about?
Not really.
I don't care for fighting machines, but I hear these ones are demons. That's exciting. Trouble with a battle is, it can be hard to find killing to call your own.
Okay, fine, Neil. Oh my. So, there's one more down here. Petra! You brought your toy.
Petra! Here she is, the guest of honor. I knew there was something about you. Hammered from the stuff they make leaders out of. And I don't say that to every Nora girl who blows through my town.
That happens to you a lot?
Had to build a wall to fend them off.
Good thing I'm persistent then.
I've missed our little talks. Murat asked me to look over the city arsenal. These guns have aged well. That runs in the Ostrom, no? They were the pride of the Mainspring forges, so I've taken greater pride in improving them.
Right, let me test one out. Of course we will.
Can I try one?
Everybody wants a turn. Have at it then. The target should put up a little less of a fight than those bandit raiders did.
Yeah. So, there's one target. Too far.
It hits nice and wide.
Yeah.
No need to aim it like a bow. Range is good. Try the next. See? That'll knock a machine on its ass, ancient or no. With these, I think we could hold off an army.
You know that I appreciate your help, Petra. This battle, I don't know what's gonna happen.
We'll see each other again, I know it. Next time could be the time I'll convince you to stick with the free heap.
Petra, you know
I do. Always had a weakness for restless girls, though. I don't make weapons for a living. It's more of a diversion.
Okay.
The city always ground my gears. But I'd miss it if it were gone. You take care of yourself and the cannons.
I will, Petra, I will. Right, so that's all we get on this side. But there's more somewhere. And that is up here, yeah. Well, looks like we could fast travel to this point and then run up. So, right, we are at the foot of the spire rise, the citadel. And look who's here! Aratak! He of course is only here if you finished, or if you did the Frozen Wilds.
Aratak? I didn't expect you to come all this way.
It's true I am a stranger in this green and snowless land. Aurea forgave the Karja, but I never did. Still, I was compelled to come for my once chieftain. It's good to see you leading again. This young ice hunter seeks to prove herself also. Her spark reminds me of Aurea's in our youth. And I'm proud to take my place behind you on this hunt. A great challenge.
Survive and prevail, right?
There is no other way.
Yeah, and this is the one who would actually stand with the others at the first place.
Cyan said she could not predict the outcome. If she had, I would have chosen not to hear it.
Yeah.
Did we not fight back machine demons before? You, my sister, and I. The battle looms, but every day brings a fresh battle.
Yeah. And you, Aluki?
You're the hunter from the Banuk Grove.
I remember you also, Nora. The machines shook free of their slumber after you arrived. Raged and fought.
Well, that wasn't my fault.
No, I'm thanking you. That night, I decided I would not go back to Banur. I would take my hunt into these lands. So many machines, even demons. Spidery, skittering, without the blue light in them. Dead things that must be killed again.
Our enemies dug up an army of them.
An army. Yes, that's why I came. Good. I'll wait.
Oh my.
From their metal bones, I'll make my armor and my song.
Yeah.
My spear is sharp. My will is like the oldest ice. If I live or die, they'll call my name down glacier cracks.
They will. I hope you survive. So, who else is waiting for us? Talana.
Talana, why are you here?
I'm your hawk. Where else would I be?
Defending Meridian with Avad?
I leave that to the rest of the Lodge. I will not stand aside while one of mine fights alone. Not again.
Are you sure you...
You're risking your life for all of us. You can't ask me to stand by and watch. Not when I have the power to change it.
Then I won't ask you.
It's settled. I will fight by your side. My only request...
Name it.
Leave the biggest machine for me.
No promises.
Yeah, we can't promise that.
When you need me, I'll follow your lead.
Good.
I came prepared. I have arrows enough to take down 5 armies.
Do you?
Hawk and Thrush, ready for the battle to start.
Yeah. Once I finish the inspections. Ooh. Well, the land is still peaceful. Not for much longer, though. Who do we have up here?
So who are these guys?
They call themselves the Eclipse.
What does that even mean?
It's when the moon gets in front of the sun, idiot.
Is that supposed to sound scary or something?
I don't know. It used to be Karja. Karja are always yammering about sun and shade.
Well, if they used to be Karja, how tough can they be?
Yeah, they're best guys just like birds. We'll rip their little feathers off.
And let's not get cocky, boys.
Yeah. Erend, you tell them. Rein them in.
Aloy. So here we are again, gearing up for a fight. Only this time it sounds like the bad guys have a lot more firepower. What are we up against, really?
I'm not sure. But there's gonna be a lot of them, and they'll have machines. And if they get past us, it's not just Meridian that will fall. The rest of the world will go with it.
Well, that's... big. It sounds like our kind of fight. Right, guys? Well, where do they put the vanguard?
At the front of the line!
And why?
Steel before iron!
And what are we gonna do?
Hit them like a hammer till they can't hit back!
Damn right! You hear that? Nobody's getting past the vanguard. We're here for Meridian. And we're here for you.
Thank you, Erend. Ursa would be proud.
Well, only if we win.
Oh, she will be.
What kind of machines have they got?
Big, ugly ones. From the ancients.
Ugly and ancient? Like your mother?
Worse, like your wife.
That's enough. This is what I have to deal with.
We gonna fight soon? I'm getting hungry.
You're always hungry.
Feasts on me, after we win.
Beer too?
Beer too. Well, you just can't leave me alone, can you?
I think she likes you. You gonna kiss her, Captain?
Shut up. Now. We'll just pretend that never happened.
Yeah. Well, he is a little embarrassed. So...
I hope we fight soon. My armor's getting itchy.
I think, yeah, there is one who's in mod.
How does your gaze fall? In approval or approach? Turn our heads with your daily pilgrimage, from the east where we came, to the west where only you may go. You grant cold metal the warmth of life, and let the machines bask in your great shining. For you, the shadows shrink and part and gather again only at your allowance without form. Your eyes, the day, your ears, the priests, your lips, the radiant Sun King, as there was before and will be again, your light.
Naman, I should have known if there was going to be a Sun Priest here, it would be you.
And if the Sun King had allowed outlanders to set foot upon the Alight, this Aloy could only be you. I wish the circumstances were different, or that the Psalms of the Sun could give you peace of mind. But if you'll allow me one pontification...
Go ahead.
You've shown strength and compassion. Our enemy's only a desperate hate. Both sides claim the blessing of the sun, but the sun that I pray to, it would bestow it upon yours.
You know, Naman, I'm already under some pretty heavy divine pressure, but I'll try to live up to it.
The tribes united against Shadow. How could that not be the sun's will? The Ataru have a proverb. Green grows from the ashes of a forest blaze. From what I could gather, the Nora believe their goddess chose them for a fated battle. The Oseram believe in many things. The forges hiss, the charcoals crack, the creak of the fermenting barrel. Complex omens.
Okay. Right.
It rises taller than the highest tree.
These Carja in their frilled armor look like turkeys.
But there are so many. And now we are so few.
They are not our foe. Not this time.
Quiet now. She comes.
Yes.
The anointed.
Don't call me anointed.
War Chief Sona. War Chief, you seem uncomfortable.
The Nora do not belong here. I do not belong here. I will fight the metal devil that threatens us all, but my place is in the sacred land. The wrongness here jags at me like an arrowhead.
I'm sorry to put you through this.
Do not be sorry. This will be ended. My spear, my word. The Carja do not impress me. To build so tall is to invite the fate of the ancients. We will stand tall, for we are the strength of the Nora. Your fight is ours. You know it to be so.
Right, right. And I hope you'll help, and then you can just return. So... there's one more. We haven't seen you in a while, Val.
Greetings, Aloy. Don't. You don't need to bow. The Anointed doesn't like it.
She doesn't much like being called anointed either. It means a lot to have you here, Varl.
I gave my word.
So, Meridian, what do you think?
I've seen many new things since I first met you. I should thank you.
Varl, what's wrong?
You really want to know? All right. I'm in a foreign land, a tainted land, defending a faithless city that looks like nothing I've seen. From something I can't imagine. And you, after all that's happened, all you've done, I feel like I should drop to my knees and worship you, but I know you don't want that.
Boy, things are pretty tough for you, huh? Thanks for telling the other Nora not to bow. It's the last thing I need.
Don't be too hard on them. They only joined this fight because the Anointed bid it so.
Is that why you came?
No. I would have come just to see you one more time. And we must fight a metal devil, because the goddess says. Or because you say.
I think the goddess and I are in agreement. We're both glad you're here.
So am I.
Right.
Your friend, the Vanguard, keeps looking over. Up here, I'm not sure if the world has grown bigger, or I've grown smaller. I apologize for the war chief. She is hating this.
Yeah.
Your friend,
okay.
The Vanguard, keeps looking over.
Yeah, they only have 3 dialogues each. Right. There was another... What am I doing? There was another... data point. There. So, such a close thing. It's been what, 43 hours since Harris warned me? Said collapse of the Eastern Line was imminent. Swarms launching some kind of pincer maneuver versus the Wichita salient. 5 or 6 days more and I think Gaia could have launched without our help. I really do. We had to scramble. Zero Dawn became a madhouse. Absolute bedlam. Every team rushing to stabilize code and lock it down as Gammas got evacuated. Then Betas. Once Gaia was on her way, I gathered the Alphas together to give them the bad news. Felt like I was going to throw up. But they already knew, of course. They knew the work wasn't really finished. Close, but not quite there. Still, tests to run, kinks to smooth, work to do. So they accepted it. No Elysium for us. We'll spend the rest of our lives here, testing and polishing each subordinate function to perfection. Guess that's what you get when you recruit a bunch of obsessive perfectionists. Managed not to cry until I got back to my office. So here we are, setting up Gaia Prime. And yeah, such a close thing. Makes me feel nauseated all over again when I contemplate how the fate of life could hinge on coincidence. If I'd never proposed the Lightkeeper Protocol, there never would have been living spaces constructed here. If I'd abandoned the protocol sooner, the necessary life support systems never would have been installed. If. At least we won't have to endure the creepiness of raising and training clones of ourselves. The genetic material was never processed out of the cradle sites, so it's not even possible. Yeah, that is what she thinks. But that didn't quite happen, because Aloy is here. For which I'm glad. I really, really wouldn't want to spend time around a young Travis Tate raised by Travis Tate. No, it'll be up to us to perfect Gaia, 1 generation only. Update. That was General Harris. The salient has collapsed. USRC expects to be overrun in 2 days, which gives us 72 hours at best to lock down and seal up. Buried alive. For life's sake. I'll go tell the others. Oh my word. Yeah. So yeah, the Lightkeeper Protocol actually meant that none of the Alphas would have clonable offspring, but that didn't quite happen. I'm not quite sure why, actually, but it didn't. So before we all ran down, before Aloy runs down the whole way, we'll just fast travel here. Right, so back in Meridian, and there is another journal. No, didn't we just read this? 15th. We just read this.
What's happening? Is the battle starting?
Not yet. Not yet.
What's happening? Is the battle starting?
Where are we going? So, this is pretty much it.
Feels empty. Should I sleep? Did I leave anything unfinished?
Good question, good question. I don't think we have. So,